What's up guys, this is Lemur bringing you a black and white battle with a friend that I actually had at his house. He actually helped make these Pokemon that day as well, and so it was just a fun time, and we just wanted to upload a pretty good battle. And so here it is. I go for the Volt Switch with Raikou. I'm actually playing on that side, and he has the Ferrothorn. And I make a terrible play, going for the Rain Dance Drizzle with Politoed. And now I've just increased the fire resistance of his Ferrothorn, and I can't change it because he doesn't have any weather guys. So I kind of screwed myself over a little bit, like getting rid of Ferrothorn's double weakness to fire. But you know what? I try to play it alright with the Perish Song so that it's not able to set up too much. Go for the Protect just to stall him out for Perish Song and to recover a bit with leftovers. And now, about at this time, I know that he's going to switch out next turn, so I get my Tentacruel in as quickly as I can so I can start setting up Toxic Spikes early in the game. I recover with the Rain Dish and leftovers so that I'm almost at half, and that's great because I know that he's going to switch out, and so then I'm going to be at half. So I think that Rain Dish, and actually that's not leftovers, that's the Black Sludge, but you know what, they kind of did the same thing. I survived the Rotom Wash's Volt Switch fine, which is great, and he goes into Mienshao when I set up my second layer of spikes. And at this point I think I thought that of course Mienshao was going to be faster if he switched into it, and also I thought Dragonite could do very well against it, but I forgot that Mienshao carries Hidden Power Ice, and so you're going to see that I lose my Dragonite very early in the game to a terrible misplay. And so I'm just not playing too well right now at the beginning, but eventually it gets a lot better and it becomes a one-way match because he does not play a lot of his Pokemon correctly. And so Escavalier actually ends up doing a lot of work, as well as my Nidoking. But I go for the Iron Head, and so that's double resisted by a Rotom Wash, so I guess that did alright damage against a Rotom Wash. And then he misses the Hydro Pump, which is awful for him, and that might have changed the flow of the gameplay. He says that was what clutched the game and like was the most terrible thing that could ever happen. But you know what? I think that my Escavalier was bulky enough that even with the Rain Dance and the Hydro Pump, it could have taken that Hydro Pump pretty well. And maybe it might have actually kept it at half. And so he goes for the Leech Seed, and I send in Raikou thinking that I can 2-hit KO a Ferrothorn, but I was terribly wrong, especially with the Leech Seed setup. And I should have just stayed in with the Escavalier, because the Escavalier is strong enough to take out especially invested Ferrothorn. And so I'm really just wasting my Raikou just like I wasted my Dragonite. But it ends up not being a Pokemon that could have affected the flow of the gameplay too much. I go for the safe Aura Sphere, and it's kind of sad that I lost Raikou because it does carry Weather Ball, being a shiny Raikou from GameStop. And there he is with a Galvantula that does not too well in this match because my Escavalier totally walls it. With all of its special bulk, of course. And so I'm just recovering right now, and I know he's going to probably switch out, but I want to go for the safe move, because we're both playing safe right now anyway. So I go for the safe Mega Horn, and that does really good damage on a Darmanitan, but it should do that much because Darmanitan is really frail. And so it's easily a 2-hit KO, especially with the toxic damage racking up. But I do want to heal a bit. I don't want to like take any hits yet. And I see that he's going for the U-turn, and that's kind of odd because Flare Blitz would be a much better move right now. But I'm fine with that. I don't double resist U-turn, but I do resist it pretty well. And then I go for this Mega Horn, of course, and he could have predicted that, but he must have thought that Ferrothorn could take a Mega Horn, but he was terribly wrong. And I had no idea that Escavalier was such a offensive beast. Like, it just did so much damage to Ferrothorn. I'm like, Ferrothorn is frail, man. And so I just go for the second Mega Horn, take out that Ferrothorn, and I take the Iron Barb's damage, and with the leftovers recovery that doesn't matter too much, but then I'm taking Leech Seed damage, which does matter a little bit. Because by that time, maybe I would have been finished after the Rotom's Hydro Pump. But, he really takes me out easily with his, Staraptor using Brave Bird, and I really thought I could have taken that. And that's really disappointing to me. But my Nidoking has Choice Scarf, which really mattered, I think, more than the Rotom's Hydro Pump, because it allows me to take on that Staraptor, which was a real threat to my team. And it allows me to take out most of the guys in his team, because he doesn't have a single Choice Scarf here. except for that Darmanitan, and that Darmanitan actually turns out to be slower. But I didn't know that when I started this game. I thought that it was a Jolly Nature Darmanitan with Choice Scarf, and that way it was faster than me naturally. But he's actually running an Adamant Choice Scarfer, which is fine, and I think that works very well. But it ended up not mattering too much because I could Toxic Stall this Darmanitan out anyway, which is what I tried to do because I did not know if it was faster than my nidoking or not. And so I go for the Safe Protect, and that doesn't really end up costing me because he's just switching into Galvantula, and I can always go for the Protect again. And I don't really care too much about Preserving Politoed, really more Nidoking, which can really take out most of his team. And so I'm going to switch into Nidoking, knowing that I can take most of his hits. I resist the Bug Buzz, and I can also hit it with Earth Power, which being Stab is fine, even though it's not super effective due to Galvantula's bug typing. Because Galvantula is naturally frail, and so you can't really expect it to be able to take much from a Nidoking with Life Orb. But actually, I'm carrying Choice Scarf, but that really ends up not mattering as well. So I just, I'm like, you know what, let's see if I'm faster, and turns out I won. Good game. So thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and thanks a lot.